Ba-da-dum. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. You'll never find a show that's like mine. A show that tells the truth the way I do. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, buddy. What it do? What it do? Hey, live! It's your boy Brian Redmond in the building. This is the Relationship Rehab, and man, I got some things on my mind. And I said, hey, if you got some things on your mind, what better place to go to the relationship than to the Relationship Rehab, talk about what's going on with you. So that's what I'm doing. First and foremost, let me see who gets that Relationship Rehab salute. My first person in the, what is that? Damn Bigfoot. First one in the show. I appreciate you. Hey now. What's going on? I want to give a shout out to everybody who done stopped by on tonight. We're going to have a nice service. This is a watch service, so it's late at night. We're going to do a shut-in. We're going to do some shouting and some singing and some praising. It's going to be a blessed event. Thank you for joining me on tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose here to be with me, and I appreciate that. Yes, indeed. Let me give a shout out to my lovely wife. Hey, baby. How you doing out there? Mwah, mwah, mwah. And to my beautiful little princess. Daddy loves you so much. You know Daddy loves you so much, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Hey, baby girl. All right, so let's jump right in. So basically, you see the title of the show. It's Andrea. Is it Andrea? She says it's Andrea. That's what she calls herself. Andrea Kelly. And what I titled it was Surviving R. Kelly or Thriving Off R. Kelly. So everybody knows. If you don't know, now you know. There is a docuseries on, I think it's Lifetime, that's called Surviving R. Kelly. And it's talking about, the women the young women that R. Kelly has been with, the underage women that R. Kelly has been with. R. Kelly is not a pedophile. He's a statutory rapist. There's a difference, right? So, that's pretty much what I've been watching it. My wife been watching it. Everybody been watching and talking about it on Facebook. And I actually did a YouTube video before the show came on, okay? So there's another video that I did, another show that I did about R. Kelly, just from what I know of and what, the talk of the neighborhood and the talk of the hood, the talk of the city has been about R. Kelly. And ironically enough, I was right, because pretty much everything that I talked about was actually talked about in the docuseries. So I think it's been, these are the first two nights. There's one more night tomorrow where it comes on, and it's like a 2-hour show every night. But pretty much everything that I've said is in that show if you go back and watch it. So if you go back and watch the show that I did about it, you'll see. And if you watch the docuseries, you'll see it too. So, but one of the things that caught my attention, and thank you to my lovely wife who brought this to my attention. Yes, Carrie, my wife is beautiful. She fine. That's all that. She just fine. Yeah. But anyway, my wife, she sent me this video, and what I'm gonna show you guys, it's a video of Andrea Kelly, right? And it's just going to bring to light what I'm talking about here, because a lot of people have just instantly gotten on Facebook and been posting about, R. Kelly's a monster. R. Kelly's this terrible person. I can't believe he did what he did. He grown and he took advantage of these young girls. These young girls are victims and all of that. And I agree to a point, but my problem with this whole thing is nobody's calling out the parents in this, because the narrative that's being told is that R. Kelly is this predator, and he was like lurking through, these bushes. And as these girls were walking home, fresh off the dean's list from Kenwood Academy, he jumped out of the bushes, grabbed them, pulled them into a truck, and drove off with them and kept them as sex slaves. Or he showed up. He was walking around saying, with a dog leash in his hand, saying, "Hey, you little 15-year-old girl, I'm trying to find my puppy. Can you help me?" And these wonderful teenage girls at Kenwood would say, "Sure, mister. I'll help you find your puppy." And he led them to a van, grabbed them, jumped into the van, and drove off with them. That's the narrative they talking. Or he had some candy and was sitting outside and saying, "Hey, little girls, I was going to bring you all some candy. Would you like some cotton candy?" And the little girls from Kenwood was saying, "Yes, R. Kelly, we would love some cotton candy." And he said, "Come on over." And they come on over, and then he grab them, throw them in the van, and drive on off. That is not what's happening, okay? That is not the narrative that it needs to be told, because what the problem is that you are taking all of the responsibility and accountability from these parents, and to a degree from these girls. Now, that 12-year-old girl, the little girl, well, actually the little girl's in the video, she was served up by her auntie. Her auntie introduced her. Yeah, I said auntie. She introduced her to R. Kelly. She brought her to R. Kelly. And if you actually watch the docuseries, she'll even say it. I said it in my video before, but she'll say it in her video. She was, she had the cry face. "I should have never brought her to, or introduced her to R. Kelly." You damn right. You shouldn't have never introduced no 12-year-old girl talking about she gonna be this artist to a dude who you known and may not have had evidence, but has been known to be around little girls. Plain and simple. And when I'm talking about little girls, I'm talking about 13 to maybe 17, 18 years old. R. Kelly liked young girls. And here's the thing. When you're talking about, yes, he was wrong. Absolutely. And these girls are victims. Yes, they are. But I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say something that y'all might not want to say, might not want to hear, but I'm going to say it. Like it or not, $1 million record contract and all the hit songs and all of the teams that helped him, the parents that took the hush money, all of that, R. Kelly's a victim too. I'm going to say it again. R. Kelly is a victim too. And what I mean by that is he was molested as a little kid. And he is what happens with a lot of kids that are molested. Some kids, they get they become reclusive, they become depressed, they shut down. Yes, they have all those experiences, and then what happens to them is they usually become predators. It's just a fact. It happens. Most of these kids, they will become predators when they are preyed upon, because they know how that the feeling that they have of being taken advantage of, they don't want to feel that anymore. And they'll say, "Well, I'm going to become the aggressor. I'm going to become the one that does it." So there is a victim on both sides. He was a victim. No matter what you want to say. You can say, yeah, he was grown. No, he took advantage. Yep, he was. And somebody grown took advantage of him. Don't excuse what he did, though. So I'm not sitting here trying to be an advocate for R. Kelly and say, "Oh, y'all need to leave him alone." Nope. R. Kelly needs to be prosecuted. He needs to go to jail for being a statutory rapist. Serve your time, pay your debt to society, and yep, absolutely. But my thing is this. So should the parents. Because he wasn't snatching these little girls up off the street. He wasn't doing the Wayne Williams. Wayne Wiggins. That's Atlanta child murder dude, right? He wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing the Ted Bundy. He wasn't doing the Summer Sam. He wasn't knocking people upside their head or doing the chloroform and dragging them off into the darkness and having his way with them. He wasn't doing that. He was going up. He was introducing himself, or he was having his crew introduce themselves and say, "Hey, R. Kelly want to meet you. Come on." And he was nice, and he had money, and he had the cars and all. He was doing all of that, and he was literally, like he said, the Pied Piper. And all the little hood rats or whatever you want to call them, they was all falling down like, "Yep, we going to see R. Kelly." That's what they was doing. So when you look at that at the entire picture and the full narrative of it, yes, they need to pay, but the parents that were in on it, cool with it, they need to be held accountable as well. And people need to be posting about the parents. Where these parents at that was letting their daughters fly into Chicago, fly into Atlanta, fly into Miami to go be with this grown man? Where were the parents that were letting their 13, 14, 15-year-old kid go to the studio at all hours of the night, all hours of the morning, for days at a time to go be with this grown man? Nobody's asking that question, right? And that's one of the things that I was pointing out before. You have to really hold everybody accountable. You talking about breaking the cycle, this needs to stop, and this is a damn shame that this kind of stuff is happening. Fuck R. Kelly. I ain't listening to his music no more. Music aside, the dude's a goddamn genius. King of R&B, hands down. Okay? He ain't the king of pop. That's Michael Jackson. He had a problem with kids too. Ironically enough, he was preyed upon. That's a whole nother show. But my point is this. When you look at what he did and you look at the whole picture, it needs to be more than just him held accountable. Because it's not just him being a predator, it's the parents serving their children up. There is a very good childhood friend of mine who something similar to this happened to her. And it was like, man, she posted it on Facebook today, and it literally brought me back to when we were kids, and we all remembered. I can clearly remember this young girl. She's only, 2 or 3 years younger than me. But at the time, she's 2 years younger than me, 2 or 3 years younger than me. But at that time, she was 12 years old, and she told her story about, I would say your name, but I'm not. I don't know if you're watching it. I don't know if you see this or not, but I'm not going to put you out there like that because that's your story to tell. But she was literally, and she said it, she was literally sold to a grown-ass man, a good and grown-ass man at 12 years old. Okay? So it's like, you look at her people, and the one person who she said something about it got punched in the face by the dude who actually bought her or paid for her. And we talking about a dude who was, man, bought her Jordans, brought her, she's what she said, she bought her Jordans, spent money on her, pizza. I mean, she's a 12-year-old kid. But she was served up by her own people for the dollar. And that's something that has happened in our community. And we don't want to hold everybody accountable. Yeah, we'll say, oh, this dude, he was bogus. He shouldn't have did it. It was bogus what he did. No. Yeah, he wrong. And there is no excuse for him. I see what you posted, Greg. Ain't no excuse for him. But ain't no excuse for their parents, too. And just like Jason said, R. Kelly took what he was given. Thinking nobody would say nothing. Dude, you right. Nobody said jack shit. These women that came forward, they came forward after they got old and after they got rotated out. They got rotated out. Plain and simple. Them girls that was on that show, Javante and all of them that was on that show, them girls was young and they was riding with Kels every day, on tour, in the studio, background singing, all that time. They was going out and getting them girls, they friends, and bringing them to R. Kelly. Ain't nobody holding them accountable? Y'all gonna just let that part slide? Where's the hey, they ain't shit neither post on that? They were on the team at that time. And they didn't say jack shit until they got rotated out. When they didn't have access, they didn't have the benefits, they wasn't getting the money spent, they wasn't going on tour no more. Now, oh, he a pedophile. Oh, now he been taking advantage of these young kids. Yeah, I knew that all. That's a bunch of BS. Because they was all doing it. They was all a part of it. They was all in the same game. They was all sleeping. He was sleeping with all of them. They was going out recruiting these young girls, bringing them to him, and the parents was right there with him. Yeah, go ahead, make my baby a star, and she can go to the studio with you. Know what it is. You got this dude who was literally larger than life, pulling up to a high school in a Range Rover. Had that money, or back then he had an Explorer first, then he had the Range Rover. And he had money, he had fame, and everybody gravitated towards it. The dude was a star. And I ain't tripping on that. Young girls will gravitate towards that. Hell, young girls will gravitate towards an old dude with a car, period. I remember that when I was in high school, when I was in grammar school, all of the young girls that were my age wanted guys that was older than them because they had more stuff. But where the parents at in all of this to say, well, hell no. I know you like this dude and he promising you a career. I'm going to go to the studio with you or you ain't going. But after all of that took place, and this dude has been, just put on blast and been, hey, he's the worst dude of all time. He's just terrible. My wife sent me this video and it just got me to thinking, like, is it just them playing the victim to get the attention and to get, basically the if I can play victim, then I can't be held accountable. I'm not culpable. I'm not the one that say, yeah, I was with this dude for 20-some odd years. And yeah, I knew that because I wasn't, sleeping with him or he was just sleeping with me from time to time. But when he was gone, all the rumors and stuff that I knew of and the times I probably did see him with these young girls, because it's been from the beginning. And I just never said nothing. So instead of me being wrong and being held accountable, I'm going to say I was a victim too. I get it. That happens. But I saw this video and it made me think, wow, let's see exactly how much of a victim you really are. So check this out. Let's do the fair use thing and I'm going to show you this video. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video disc under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, which is what I'm doing, news reporting, which is what I'm doing, teaching, of course, as always, and parody, which doesn't infringe on copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Alright, boom. That's done and out of the way. So, I'm going to play this video first of her telling her story a little bit. And actually, I'm going to just fast forward to this part where she's like really talking. Yeah, there we go. This is when she's telling her story. So I want you to see this part and then I'm going to play this other video and you guys, you be the judge of this and tell me what y'all think.
Kelly's mother called me. She was concerned about not hearing from my daughter.
That was very dark for her, very rough, not knowing what the outcome could be.
He denied it for the longest time. Like, Andrea, it's not what you think. They're lying on me. Somebody set me up. I finally realized it doesn't get better. It gets worse. I had small children. They were already dealing with their father in the news having a court case that deals with pedophilia and children. And I remember going out on the balcony and climbing up on the ledge. Like, God, I can't take another day. I can't do this anymore. He had taken me to a place that I was willing to leave my kids. So I just prayed and asked God for a sign and something said to get my laptop. And I went to the National Domestic Violence Awareness Hotline. And there are 17 questions. There was only 2 things on that list that Robert hadn't done to me. And that's when it became real to me. Like,
gotta stop it real quick. So just remember this. So she said she was ready to kill herself over the shit that this dude did. This dirty, low down, no good, rotten motherfucker. All this stuff he did, it broke her to the point to where she was literally ready to kill herself. She was ready to commit suicide. Then the Lord told her to go to the website, and she looked up this abuse thing, and this nigga had did, out of the 17 things, he did 15 of them to her. Terrible dude. I mean, you ain't shit if you done crossed off 15 of the 17 abuse items on the website, alright? 15 out of 17, Kel knocked him out the park, okay? All but 2.
You're being abused.
We often look at women and we...
So, she's had the realization, I have been abused all this time, all these years. This predator, no good, low down motherfucker is not only taking advantage of these young girls, but he's abusing the shit out of me. He is a terrible person. Would you not agree? He's the worst of the worst. He's a bastard. He's a no good motherfucker. He ain't shit nigga. He is all of this. In spite of me being with him for 20 some years and this being my baby daddy of 3, I think it was, of 3, right? All this is a terrible dude. Let's give her that. And then I want you to watch this.
Come on, baby dad. You better say, we ain't together, but that motherfucker vocal is right. What do we do?
Let me take it back. Now this is her Facebook Live. This is her Facebook Live. Andrea today, as we know her, divorced, and after she done did the show, this her.
Questions, you have passed my test. Happy people, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it, yes, them who people, happy people. Come on, baby daddy, other baby daddy. Dancing, happy people, yeah. Stepping, happy people, oh yeah. Not your.
Now, this is R. Kelly's song, Happy People, and she's clearly acknowledged her baby daddy, right? It gets worse, but I had to stop it real quick so I can wave to my daughter. Hi, baby girl. Daddy loves you so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. All right, let me get back to it. But just keep listening to her.
Oh, evil ass, irritated people. Now what do you do? When the feeling has come over you let go. Wow. Yeah, she got a band-aid because I broke my nail. When the gentleman asked you to test you, what she say yes. Come on, baby dad, you better say.
All right. So I hope this don't. I can only play this in little spurts because I'm hoping that this music part don't flag my video. But you can clearly see that she has been a victim. And yes, should she be, I guess, distraught over what has happened to her? Absolutely. Should she not have joy in her life? I'm not saying that at all. Everybody can heal. Everybody can, get the James Brown on and pick up the pieces. So she done picked up the pieces, put her life back together because it was in shambles, because it had been shattered by the worst fucking R&B singer of all time, R. Kelly. My question is, how can someone who's done so much to you push you to the point of suicide and hit 15, that's 10, 5, 10, 15 of the 17 abuse items? How can you listen to his music and not go back to that terrible time in your life? How do you, you're on TV crying crocodile tears. I see you, Skull. Crocodile tears. You were so distraught. You were broken. You were a victim. You were being abused. How can you do that and then come here to where you not only singing your baby daddy, ex-husband music with your new baby daddy next to you. I don't know how he cool with that shit, but whatever. Maybe the money's good. I feel you, brother. I wouldn't complain either. Hey, you got you along for the ride. Do what you do. But you do that, and then you sit here and not only listen to his music, sing his music, but now you're going to celebrate him. And thanks to my wife for doing the research. This was from February 3rd of 2017. All right? So, let's check out and see what else she say.
We ain't together, but that motherfucker vocal is right.
We ain't together. I got to keep stopping it so it won't trigger the thing. I think it's like 30 seconds you get or something like that. But anyway, how do you get back to this place to where you are able to celebrate and enjoy this music? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to the nigga's music. Plain and simple. I ain't his friend. I'm going to listen to that nigga's music. Because everybody who's an artist, who you listen to, you don't know what they do behind closed doors. And just because it ain't been brought out on social media, don't make it right. Everybody got their demons. Everybody got their shit that they do. Everybody has their sins. So it's like, yes, I don't support anything that man has done in his personal life, and what he's done to them girls is a fucking tragedy. However, I ain't gonna stop listening to this nigga's music, because good music is just that, good music. Plain and simple.
Another question, you have passed my test, happy people. Yeah, yeah. What are people doing back there? Stepping people, not your old evil ass people.
Now you talking about somebody who, like I said, this dude done hit 15 of the 17 abuse items. And she acknowledged it. She was ready to kill herself. And here's where she's at today with the dude who did all of these terrible things to her. This is where she at.
Yes, y'all. When this over, I'm gonna talk to y'all.
Tell me she ain't no happy person. Come on, man. Tell me this ain't happy people that you see right here. She's singing it and she's enjoying herself. Yes, the nigga makes great music. Not good music. He makes great music. But I'm telling you right now, if somebody did to me what he did to her, I ain't listening to your shit no more. If I'm on TV crying and talking about how he did me and what he did, I ain't listening to your shit no more. I don't care. If I got my ass whooped to a certain song as a kid, I don't want to hear that damn song no more. Let alone 20 years of abuse. I don't want to hear shit this nigga done made. Hell no, I don't want to think about R. Kelly. I don't want to hear nothing, but don't say R, period, around me. You say R around me, I just might dive on you. That's how I'm gonna feel. Tongue out and everything. Look at her. Is she not happy? This nigga is kicking it with this nigga music. She getting it.
Happy people. Yeah, yeah. That's what I want to be, y'all.
Come on, man. And this is she survived R. Kelly. This nigga look like she thriving to me. Hence the title. She look like she is thriving off of this nigga right now. And not only is she thriving off this nigga, she vibing off this nigga's shit right now. Because that song probably paid for everything she got on and that whip she in. So don't give me that BS about this nigga's the worst nigga ever to walk the planet and destroyed your life, because you thriving off this nigga right now.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to be with the hoop. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Is that a victim to y'all? That's all I'm asking. Is this a broken person who she just said, I wish you burn in hell?
Come on, baby.
He terrible. Look at her. Come on, baby daddy. So she's still even referring to this dude as baby daddy. This is what she's still referring to this dude as. She is literally like still, in my opinion, she's still feeling this nigga. And to that nigga that's sitting next to her, nigga, I get it, but you's a simp. You's a lame. If I'm sitting in the car and I'm driving or she driving, and my girl is feeling this nigga the way that he is, I don't care if he R. Kelly or not. I'm good. You ain't gonna have me on social media while you sitting here vibing off this nigga like that. No way, no how, ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Other baby daddy.
Outstanding, man.
Here we go. Him said,
Look at her.
all right. Now if you want to rap.
Don't even know the words, but I ain't tripping. She said, check that make you smile and get you feeling good. That's what it is.
You gotta do what I do. When I do what I do. Step to the left, step to the right.
This is the nigga that done stepped all over her ass. He done stepped all over her ass for 20 years. And that's what she doing. So I would definitely be remiss to not say it couldn't have been all bad. And he can't be the monster that you said he was, because you are literally enjoying this nigga right now in your car with your second baby daddy.
This was Joanne's like favorite part of the song. And I remember her being in the kitchen dancing with her daddy coming up with this choreography. It was the best.
She is. Y'all, now look. Now I'm gonna tell you like this. If this was somebody who you didn't know and didn't know didn't know who they were, and just saw this video, would you not say that this person is a huge fan of Kales and loves Kales? Would you not say that? Would you not say that? And it's like, my thing is this. Has the nigga done some terrible shit? Probably did. But my thing is this. You can't go and condemn a nigga. You can't go and get on national TV and call this nigga a monster and the worst motherfucker to ever walk the face of the earth, and to say that he destroyed your life, he destroyed you and broke you as a human, and then turn back around and celebrate this nigga. You can't do that and get my sympathy. I don't know about y'all, but you can't do that. Plain and simple.
So
now here's where it gets good, because she's about to now justify how she feel about this here nigga.
that was my other baby daddy, ex-husband, on the radio, and I celebrate him.
What?
I celebrate.
What? I celebrate him. You just told this dude that you hope he burns in hell and that he's a monster and that he pushed you to the point of suicide to where you was ready to leave your babies. I was ready to leave my babies, but had it not been for sweet baby Jesus, who came up on high in the burning bush that was lit, that told me to go and get on the internet and look at the abuse hotline webpage, where I saw the Lord revealed it to me that Kales had 15 of the 17 things wrong. Had it not been for that, I don't know where I'd be, because R. Kelly did abuse me. He's a monster.
Him and his music and his artistry.
His artistry.
Because we do what the fuck he do. That's right, Reese. Hey, cousin. Family first, honey. Family first. And you know that special rule about fair. I can say what the fuck I want to say about him because he's my family. You ain't got shit to say. I'm going to cuss your ass out.
Wow. So she basically saying everybody else, can't none of y'all say nothing. I can call him all this shit if I want to, because he's my family. Still is my family. I celebrate him and his artistry. He can sing. You still loving this nigga. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Baby daddy in the second seat and all, you still loving this nigga. Plain and simple.
How about that? That ain't your motherfucking family. That ain't your husband. That ain't your baby daddy. So, you know how that is.
Somebody could be talking crazy at the family barbecue. People could act the goddamn fool at a funeral. Let somebody say something crazy about your brother at school. You try to rip their goddamn head off. Now, you might have called your brother the dumbest motherfucker to walk the face of the earth. Let somebody call your brother or sister that, and you will try to kill them. That's just family love. That's family love 101.
And that may be true to some degree. Yeah, you don't let just anybody talk about your family. But if you go on national TV and say that this is the worst nigga of all time, and you talk about how what he did to you, what he did to you, how do you defend him? That's insane.
And respect the boundaries. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. I'm talking about my family. And it don't matter. You be like, oh, well, you said he wasn't no good. Well, goddamn it, I got the right to say he wasn't no good. In my family, I can say that.
How does that make sense? That don't make no kind of sense. Yeah, my uncle abused me. My uncle raped me. My uncle did all these things. But you better not say nothing bad about him. What? How? How, Sway? How do you get to that point to where this dude has been so... He's been so terrible to you. He's abused you. He hit 15 out of the 17. How come can't nobody else talk about that but you? That don't make no kind of sense.
Because I also know how good he is. I also know how great he or she is. See, the problem...
Did she just say, I just know how good he is? I just know how great he is? Also, now he is great. Okay.
with people that want to talk shit, they don't ever want to talk about the good. They want to harp on the negative. They only want to talk about the bad. But you know, when family come through, because you know when little Ray Ray be in jail, their mamas and grandmamas and aunties and them, they don't give no fuck what he went to jail for. They still gonna be like, well, in 8th grade, he got straight A's. You're gonna find some pop.
So she just said, hey, I'm going to talk about all the good he do, but you didn't say none of that shit on that damn docuseries. Out of the 4 hours of that docuseries, ain't not one time you done talked about all this good stuff. You ain't celebrate them on there, but you turn right back around and now you celebrate them on Hey Live. Right.
About your family when other people won't. That's just law. So don't act like I'm coming up with something new saying nothing crazy. That's what we do. That's how family is. And that's it. Oh, well, thank you, everybody, for these happy belated birthday wishes. Thank you. Somebody said,
I mean, don't she look broken, y'all? Don't she look broken?
That's hood law right there. Real talk. That is real talk.
That's hood law.
Let me tell you something.
And you know what? She's right. That is our hood law. We don't call out shit that's bad in our hood. And the things that are being shown that are bad, we try to make them good in our hood. This is what hood law does for the black community, for black people, for the little black girls and the little black boys that's being abused, molested, raped, beat, murdered. That's hood law for you right there. You can get on TV and cry. You can get on TV and fall out. You can open 30 different not Facebook Live, but GoFundMe pages. You can be on TV talking about how much this has just devastated you and the people who did this to me and did this to my baby. My baby didn't deserve that. But at the end of the day, you'll never call it out because it's hood law. This is why niggas is where they at. This is why we suffer. This is why we ain't getting better. This is why it don't change. This mentality right here is the shit that destroys us. This is the shit that keeps the cycle going. Because we cool with this shit right here. Because I guarantee you ain't gonna be too many people that's gonna call this out. Everybody gonna let her go ahead and do her thing and get her money because she was a victim. And she did benefit from this nigga. She did. And it's like, if you gonna benefit from this nigga and you gonna enjoy the benefits of this nigga, that nigga afforded you a lifestyle that you will never be able to have on your own. And I'm not saying you need to be ashamed of that, but you damn sure can't be condemning the very thing that you thriving off of. That's fucked up. That's a problem. The very thing that's just like me going out here saying, yeah, we need to stop selling drugs. We need to get these drugs out the community. We need to, save our people, save our kids, and I'm the fucking drug dealer. So the very thing that I'm doing, talking about, yeah, we need to stop this, is the very thing that I'm fucking the ringleader of. That's just like, you remember in fucking New Jack City? You got Nino Brown with the fucking Carter open. He got all these crackheads housed in the one place that took over the fucking Carter. And what does he do? Once a year, come and hand out fucking free turkeys and for Thanksgiving. And niggas is cool with that. Because it's hood law. That's what hood law does. That's what hood law does. That's why hood law got us where we at now. That's why we suffer. We suffer because of that. She let people suffer because of that. Because she could have called it out more than anybody. Once she got that ring, she could have said whatever the fuck she wanted to say. And he couldn't touch her. Because, hey, you want a divorce? Fine. Say something else to me. Touch me. Hit me. Whatever you want. I'm getting a divorce. I'll file tomorrow, nigga, and I'll destroy everything you have. And I'm going to take what's left. Out of everybody in this whole thing, she had the most power to bring this nigga and to bring his fucking treachery down to the ground. She could have burnt it all down years ago. And she didn't. You know why? Because she benefiting from it. She got on what them little girls suffered for. Them little girls who got $50,000 here, $5,000 a month, $2,500 a month, $10,000 here. All them girls that got paid off, all them girls that signed them disclosure agreement, she didn't have to sign nan one. Once she got that ring, she was entitled to half of that shit that he had. And she loved it. She enjoyed it. She benefited from it when she knew what he was doing. He had your ass locked up. What you think he was doing with them other girls? You couldn't go no damn well. What you think he doing when he got you and all your friends? They can't even come around your ass no more. And she was cool with that shit. She rolled with it because of the dollar. And yeah, you can say she a victim. Yeah, you can say, oh, well, she didn't know no better. She was young. Bullshit. She met that dude when she was 19 years old. And she rolled with him because he afforded her and gave her something she couldn't get on her own. That money, that fame. She was Mrs. Kelly. Ain't another one of them chicks can say that. And she took pride in it. She stayed in it. And she can talk about, oh, I stayed in it because of my babies. I did what I had to do as a mother. I had to make it as a mama. I had to do what I had to do. And yes, I was in a dark place. You right. But you ain't in no dark place right now because you popping your fingers talking about, I celebrate my baby daddy. Yeah, he did all this bogus shit to me, but I celebrate my baby daddy. Shoot, y'all can't talk about him, but I can. Hood law. That's what you bringing. For every 14-year-old, every 13-year-old, every 12-year-old, every little girl that got pissed on, every little girl that got statutory rape, every little girl that was bent over in the studio, every little girl that he ever touched, that he ever preyed on, that he ever picked up, that he ever did something to. Hood law. Hood law. That's what we chalk that shit up to, right? We gonna chalk it all up to hood law. Ain't gonna say nothing about these parents. Ain't gonna say nothing about her ass. Ain't gonna say nothing about these other grown motherfuckers who was in the camp, the manager, who got the paperwork rigged so Aaliyah could marry the nigga. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about that. That's hood law. That's exactly what we do. We will take that one person because he at the top of the fucking food chain. He got all the money. So we gonna make him the bad motherfucker, but everybody else who was playing that part, everybody else who was recruiting them young girls, who was going out getting all them young girls, who knew what the fuck he was doing and wasn't saying shit, down that Chicago track studio, knowing them little girls was up in there. And yes, them little girls got a small piece of responsibility in it too, because you knew what the fuck he was on. And the minute he knew, the minute you figured it out, you should have fucking left. or after the first time, you should have never fucking went back. And you should have went and told. But you didn't. Your parents should have been there. And for every manager, every assistant, every road manager, every lawyer, every fucking band member included, all of y'all ain't shit. Tell them I said that. Every one of you motherfuckers that played drums, played guitar, background singer, keyboards, every motherfucker that set up a goddamn appointment, that booked a fucking flight, that flew in, picked up, drove around, rolled in the back, rolled on the fucking tour bus. Do y'all know how long a tour was back then? That's when you got the majority of your bread. You on a fucking tour bus for months with this nigga, and you know he fucking these little girls, and you ain't saying shit. You ain't shit neither. So ain't nobody calling them out though. We all gonna stick to Kales. Ain't nobody asking Javante, well, bitch, why the fuck was you sitting here on the bus all this time and you saw the door open and he fucking Aaliyah with your own eyes and you didn't call the police? Why you didn't take your ass off tour? Why? Because you like the money. Because you like the fame. You like walking into the club getting VIP. You liked everybody on your jock sweating your ass because you next to the man that's next to the man that's next to the man. Because you on stage. Because you getting to dance. Because you getting to kick it. Because you getting the free food. You getting the free drink. You balling. You getting the Gucci bag. You getting the red bar. Whatever the fuck you was getting. You got it and you didn't give a fuck because you was benefiting. And the minute he told your ass or showed your ass, bitch, now you too old, I got a new rotation coming in, now you a victim and you mad. You participated in that shit. You rolled with that shit. First time, yeah, I get it. You might have been shocked, didn't know what happened. Damn, I didn't know he was on that. But once you figured it out, motherfucker, you ain't stupid. Why is it every time I'm in the studio, it's a bed in the middle of the studio, and it's a 14-year-old girl, it's a 15-year-old girl, it's a 16-year-old girl laying up under this nigga? Why is that? Why when I get here, this nigga in the bed with this shit? Why they in this closet? Why they dipped off in this room? Why they in the back of this tour bus? Why they back? Why they all the way up? Why he just with just her? You put two and two together, and then when it was your turn, you roll with it too. Because he was R. Kelly. I'm with the R. King R&B, right? That's my point. Yes, there are victims in this all the way around. And all y'all motherfuckers knew. Nigga, you sitting there playing them drums, you knew what the fuck was going on with the after party. When you breaking your shit down and you see that nigga's entourage and it's 3 14-year-olds with him, you knew what was going on. Nigga, you playing keyboards and you see what he doing at the after party. You seeing what he doing while y'all in the studio rehearsing. You seeing what that nigga was doing. And y'all was cool with it. How the fuck do I know? I ain't in R. Kelly camp. Everybody in the city knew what the fuck he was doing. Plain and simple. Y'all motherfuckers was rolling with that shit. And even with the tape coming out, the only reason why the tape came out, because of the money they was trying to get for it. Come on, man. But that's hood law, though. It's hood law and it's cool when you coming up. I ain't gonna say shit when I'm coming up. When I'm benefiting. When I'm getting the checks. Come on. Now, once the check stop, when the money ain't rolling, alright, money gone. I ain't got no more fame. I can't just walk into the studio no more. I ain't in the inner circle no more. Okay. Hey, I'm a victim. Hey, can somebody come and hear my story? I can cry. I can say how hurt I was and how destroyed I was. And how you crying now? Because you sure as fuck wasn't crying when you was on that tour bus. You wasn't crying when you was in that studio. You wasn't crying when you was getting your friends to come and hang with this nigga at the studio because he told y'all, hey, I need y'all to give me some girls. Everybody knew when R. Kelly rolled through and you see girls, the youngest one, the one that was sitting there with acne on her face, the one that was sitting there looking like a little kid out of all of the other ones, they knew who she was going with. And like I said before, you can't just call out that one and don't call out all of them. All of them was guilty. All of them helped and assisted that predator. All of them played a part in it. And they didn't say shit, not because they were scared. They didn't say shit because they was a victim. They didn't say shit because they was benefiting. Just like her ass is. She's benefiting right now to the point to where she's singing that nigga's praises. She's celebrating that nigga because she is enjoying a lifestyle because of him that she never would have had on her own. And if that's what you want to do, that's the type of person you are, fine. I ain't judging you. Well, yes, the fuck I am. You ain't shit. Because now you trying to dog the very same nigga you benefiting from. Bullshit. You can't be a fucking fucking leader of a cartel and talking about you against drugs. Don't do that. It's bullshit, man. And we roll with it because of shit like that. It's hood law. Well, you know how it is in the hood. No, that's the problem. We do know how it is and we ain't trying to do shit to stop it. Y'all should be just as mad at them parents as y'all mad at R. Kelly. That's all I'm saying. Just like it ain't no excuse for him, it shouldn't be no excuse for them. 15, 20 years, y'all know how long ago this shit was going down? We talking about the 90s. And now y'all talking some 30 years later? 30 years later, y'all on TV crying? Come the fuck on, people. We gotta be better than that. And you hold motherfuckers accountable for that bullshit that they own when they own it. You don't let a motherfucker just get away with that shit and say, oh, well, yeah, it was different then. Oh, well, she done been through so much. No. You didn't say shit. You rolled with the shit. Then, goddamn it, you a part of it. You just as guilty as he is. You just as guilty as he is. Do you need to go to jail? For some time. I don't give a damn if you do 2-3 years, whatever. You knew and didn't say nothing. But now you talking about and it was one part in the show where Javante talking about that was my baby. She was my baby. That girl wasn't your damn baby. You just knew her ass, plain and simple. Because once you saw the video in the Colorado room, you'd have been the first person to talk about, y'all. I know that room. I know he did that shit. Yeah, he was on that. And even that little girl, she didn't say it was her because she wanted to protect him. And her parents said, no, it wasn't her because they wanted to protect him. Why would they want to protect him? Because they got paid for it. They ain't on the show talking about he a victim, talking about he the worst motherfucker in the world. I at least got respect for that. Y'all served up y'all daughter. Y'all did what y'all did. Yeah, you some ain't shit parents. But you ain't at least trying to be righteous on the same hand. That's where it pisses me off to the point to where you think I'm fucking stupid because now you righteous and you was riding along with this bullshit. Andrea ain't fucking righteous. Andrea ain't righteous. Don't y'all motherfucking try to feel sorry for her. Don't you fucking shed a tear for her. Don't you feel fucking sorry for her. Fuck her. You sitting here talking about fuck R. Kelly? R. Kelly ain't shit? You should be saying those same exact words about her. You should be saying those same exact words about those parents. You should be saying the same thing about these motherfuckers that's trying to come forward now some 30 years later. That's just like the motherfuckers who came forward with the Bill Cosby shit. 50, 60 years later, now y'all talking about Cosby ain't shit? Come on, man. Y'all knew what he was doing. And if it was that terrible, you should have said something back then. If it was that terrible, you should have prosecuted his ass then. You should have asked for justice then, not $500 million later. Not after, oh, well, if you get me on this show, then I ain't gonna say nothing. Fine, you want to do that? I'm telling y'all, I ain't knocking that. If you feel as though whatever happened to you was terrible and was the worst thing in the world and you suffered immensely for it, you were a victim, fine. But you got your price, you got your payment, shut the fuck up. Because that's what you settled for. You took your settlement, you took your non-disclosure agreement, you got your bread, shut your ass up and ride out. Don't try to be a victim and then try to say you righteous when you roll with that shit. And black people gotta stop letting people off the hook for that. You gotta stop doing that. We can't get nowhere as a people. We can't get nowhere as a community when we letting the dope man be cool with us. When we letting the little young niggas we know that shooting up the block hang out with us. When we ain't saying shit to the police because it's our uncle. The dude who's selling all the weed on the block, all the coke on the block, all the heroin on the block, we ain't gonna say nothing about him and we ain't gonna tell the police shit because he bought us this. Remember that one time he took us to the restaurant? Remember that time he loaned me $500 for this? You can't not say nothing about it then turn around and be like, yeah, our community is so terrible. We got these young guns and these young thugs need to put these guns down. All lives matter, but black lives matter the most. If black lives really matter and you really gave a fuck, then you would be on these kids' ass. And I'm not even telling you to be the one to go out there with your pistol and take a bullet or be willing to throw a bullet for it, but you need to be the one talking to the police. You need to be the one saying, hey, I got a trap house next door. Hey, I got a trap house in the basement. Hey, I'm living in the trap house. Help me. But you ain't gonna do that when you steady getting that cash money for it. You ain't gonna do that when you benefiting from it. Then when the nigga get locked up, oh, it's so terrible. We need the free man. Why? So you can keep getting that drug money? So you can keep benefiting from him? But then when he dead, you want to put a teddy bear out by the street pole where he died at. Because he was a good kid. He was just trying to go to school. He had just finished high school. He was about to start college. And he give you the shirt off his back. Yup. And he give your ass a 45 in your face when he want your Jordans too. But don't nobody say that because like you said, when the money come, I'm rolling. When the fame is there, I'm with it. When I can get a record deal, I'm cool. You want to fuck my niece? That's fine. Produce my album. You want to fuck my niece? Put me on this single. You want to fuck my niece? Give her a record deal. Let me get some points off the song and off the album. You want to fuck my 12-year-old niece? Hey, look, just keep me in the loop. Let me get on this song. Let me do this song. Let me get in here. Produce this album for me. I'm good. That's what it was. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to introduce any kid to a grown man and let her spend time with this grown-ass man when I know rumors of him fucking young girls. I don't know for sure, but it's a rumor. A rumor's enough for you to protect the kid. Hey, man, look. You ain't going to have my niece up in this motherfucker by yourself. Nah, dude. Why not? Why you think I'm going to do something? No, but I heard rumors. It is what it is. Well, fuck you. Well, fuck you. Why would you care? Why would you want to be? Why would you want to be? And it's like now in hindsight, you saying I should have never introduced my niece to R. Kelly. You shouldn't have introduced your niece to no fucking grown-ass man. You shouldn't have your kids be alone with no fucking adult that you ain't there. If you ain't there and it ain't a bunch of other fucking adults there, you shouldn't have your fucking kids around no motherfucking grown person by themselves. Because you don't know. You don't know. And this person could be the coolest motherfucker in the world. Could be the dopest motherfucker you ever met. But I'm not going to take no fucking chance with my kid. And Sparkle was fucking R. Kelly too. You ain't gonna be in the studio that long. You ain't gonna be in the studio that much time. Like she was talking about, yeah, he used to be all controlling over me. He told me what to wear. He told me I couldn't talk to nobody. He wouldn't let nobody speak to me. That's because you was fucking him. You was good. You was benefiting from it. And as long as you was doing that, it's cool. And it got to the point where you was benefiting from it, to the point where you served up your niece. She like the next Bow Wow. What? What's that got to do with this dude being in the studio alone with her? The minute you found out, you should have japped out and you should have took her and broed out. But what you do? How you get here? They dropped you off? Y'all shouldn't be doing. Now you tripping. You shouldn't have never bought her. You shouldn't have never put her in. You don't take some. You don't take a baby to a lion's den, put the baby in the lion's den, and then when the lion do what a lion does, kill the lion and say, yep, that lion ain't shit. It's a fucking lion. It does what it does. Why would you be surprised that it does what the fuck it is? There's no reason for you to put a kid in a lion's den. No reason. You're a bad parent if you do that. Yeah, you can kill the lion, but at the end of the day, you lost the kid. Because of your choice. And ain't nobody seeing that? Ain't nobody understanding that? No, that's bullshit. You have to say, look, this is what it is. I've heard this. Yeah, I ain't got no 100% proof, but I've heard enough to where, hey, I ain't gonna take no chance. If you sitting there and you got to the point to where you think that there is or there could be something wrong, don't put your fucking kid in it. Don't put your 16-year-old niece in it. Don't put your 17-year-old son in it. Don't let your kid be in harm's way. That's a parent's responsibility. That's child endangerment. You putting your kid in this environment where they in the studio at whatever time of the day or whatever time of the night and they just there. There's no reason for that. My kid ain't gonna be alone with no grown person. And even once my kid gets on, I always say this too. Any woman, don't you ever be alone with a man that you ain't having no intentions on fucking. I don't care what y'all doing, where y'all going, what the reason is. If you're gonna be with this person, you hanging out, y'all going out for drinks, y'all going out to Starbucks, y'all going for tea, whatever it is, for coffee, don't be alone with a man you not prepared to sleep with. Because you never know what a dude is gonna do. You never know what a dude is thinking. He could be the coolest motherfucker in the world, and that's what they all say. Ain't no dude just coming up to you. You know I'm a rape you later on tonight, don't you? You know I'm trying to fuck today, don't you? I'm just letting you know. Ain't no dude gonna do that. But once you get alone, once he gets you isolated, once he gets you where he wants you, he gonna do what he gonna do. Don't put yourself in a position to where you can be a victim. That's one of the first rules of not being a victim. That's one of the first rules of protecting yourself. Don't put yourself in that position. Because once you do, even if it happens, yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's against the law. But would you rather somebody get arrested and get locked up for doing something wrong to you? Or would you rather it not even happen to you? What the fuck? Do you understand what preventive maintenance is? You putting yourself in a position to where you maintaining yourself to prevent something going wrong, to prevent the inevitable possibly happening. You want to prevent some shit breaking or prevent an incident from occurring by keeping yourself in a position to where you always around people, keeping yourself in a position to where you're in a public place meeting a new dude. Just like that girl who met the dude on Facebook a while back, and the dude stabbed her ass and all that type of shit. He killed her because he was fucking crazy. Okay, yeah, he crazy. He killed her. Had she not been alone with this dude, maybe that wouldn't have happened. Maybe he still could have japped out, but maybe somebody could have helped him if they was in a public place. But when you go and you be alone with somebody, you putting yourself in a position of being a victim. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Don't do that. And then if you do, and you get the benefits of it, don't try to turn around and be righteous with it. Don't do that shit. That shit is that hood mentality, hood code, whatever you want to call it. When you don't call out bullshit and you don't acknowledge the wrong, the shit the wrong shit that people do, you're condoning it. You're condoning it. And even when that, and that's one of the things that people always talk about Tommy. People say all this shit about Tommy. He always talk this nonsense about black women. He talking nonsense about saying they should kill niggas. He's calling it out. Because if you don't call it out, you condone it. Well, he shouldn't say all. He shouldn't say not all. I had a discussion with a real good friend of mine. Once, shout out to my boy Jay. I had out there in LA living it up like one of them beatniks. But I had a conversation with him, and he was talking about saying, well, Tommy say always, not all. I said, he says that because it's the majority. No, it ain't. It's plenty of people that's living in a good neighborhood. There's plenty of people that's doing all these good things. I said, okay, I hear you. But you show me a neighborhood where there's nothing but black people thriving. Show me that. Show me an all-black or predominantly black neighborhood where it's black people thriving. They have traditional families. Mama, daddy is in the home. Kids are in school. Ain't no drug or violence going on in the neighborhood. Show me that neighborhood. I ain't even asking for no city. I ain't even asking for no state. I ain't asking for no county. I'm talking about a neighborhood. Let's do 4 square blocks of just all black people living well, right? Middle class, upper middle class, whatever you want to call it, where everybody's good and ain't no hood shit going on. You can't, can you? No. I said, but I definitely can tell you it's plenty of neighborhoods, 4 square city blocks or more, where it's niggas dying, where it's single black mothers, where it ain't no fathers, it ain't no men, it ain't nothing but drug dealing and gang banging and dope slanging going on, i.e. the Wild Hundreds, i.e. Inglewood, i.e. West Side, i.e. East Side of Chicago. Where the fuck you think Chirac came from? Them neighborhoods. So that proves my point of there being a majority. The majority of us are fucking suffering and living in the ghettos. They fucking in neighborhoods that are fucked up. That got the predators in there. That got the drug dealers, the gang bangers. They can't go down this block because this block won with that block. It's plenty of them. So how can you not think or agree to the fact that, yes, there are more ratchet, hood, ghetto motherfuckers living amongst each other than there are people that are not, or what you would call good black people? I'm just saying. And once I said it, you couldn't dispute it. Show me one 4 square block radius or 4 square blocks of people that are all black, that are living in harmony, thriving in their own community. Section 8 free. You can't. Because we don't have hoods where that's happening. All the hoods we got where it's black people, all black people, they all government assisted or government funded. There's some program that's in place to where they are in that position. The Argyle Gardens. Ain't nobody in the gardens living, and that's one of the things I told him. I said, ain't nobody in the gardens paying full rent, going to work every day and coming home and paying all their bills and ain't getting no government assistance. It's government housing. What are you talking about? You talk about the Robert Taylor homes when they were standing. You talk about the Stateway Gardens. You talk about the Ida B. Wells. You talk about all of them. They ain't no but black folks living together, but they all government assisted. They ain't thriving in no neighborhoods. Well, all of them ain't gang bangers. Yeah, but the majority of them are. So don't give me that bullshit about you mad because somebody ain't saying not all. That's the problem. Because if you look at it from a macro perspective, macro meaning large, from a wider lens, if you look at it from that perspective and you say, well, hey, look, looking at it from this perspective, there are more of us that's on bullshit than the ones that ain't. So we need to call out this big number. And we need to generalize. We need to say these niggas. Because when you don't, then you don't think it's that serious. You'll say like that shit boy said about it's just a sliver. You'll think that. You'll think that it's, oh, well, it's just a few pockets. It's all about where you live. It's all about what you put yourself around. You surround yourself with negative people. You surround yourself with niggas. Yeah, you gonna be around niggas shit. No, I can't go live nowhere where it ain't good black people. Where it ain't no niggas. I can't go live somewhere where it's black people and ain't no niggas there. I can't. So that's why we have to call it out. That's why we have to say what it is. Bad and all. We gotta take it. Because you can't change something that you don't acknowledge. And that's my thing. All these people that got together and came down on R. Kelly like that, I'm not knocking that. But you need to be accountable for the shit you did. And all y'all should have been saying, I fucked up. This shit is my fault. I played a part in this shit and I'm ashamed of it. I did a fucking terrible thing because I was so enthralled with the lifestyle. I was so caught up in the stardom. I was so caught up in the fame that this nigga had. I was so caught up with that shit to the point to where I didn't do what was right. I didn't protect that 12-year-old girl. Not the one that was on the video, but the ones we don't even know, that y'all don't know about. Because all we know about is the ones that came forward. I guarantee you, as terrible as it is, as fucked up as it is, it's hundreds more. The man said he had girls in every city. In every city. And if them niggas was going out recruiting them niggas was going out and grab. Imagine how many girls come to an R. Kelly concert, y'all. Imagine how many girls gonna flock to the mall if he at the mall. Imagine how many girls was at Kenwood High School. Imagine how many girls gonna come to the school that they see R. Kelly at. Imagine how many girls are gonna come to the record store. Because back then, when you dropped the album, you went to the record stores to sign your albums, to do release parties. And you did them in your in them key states to drive your sales. You had to come, buy the album, get in line, and you sign it, and then you get to go on. So imagine how many girls ain't on TV, y'all. And them niggas had front row seats to the whole fucking show. They had front row seats day in and day out being on tour. Imagine a 6-month tour, 50 cities, 50 shows, and you fucking a girl every night. Imagine being in the studio doing an album, doing somebody else's album. The dude lived in the studio, y'all. Lives in the studio. Imagine how much when you, and people may not know this, but when you and I know this because of my experience that I've had in doing music. Yes, I was a hood star and I did music. We had 2 albums that we did in the hood. Maybe I'll let y'all hear some of this shit one day. But when you're in the studio and you create music, there's so much music, especially that R. Kelly has created, that we have never heard yet. That's in what we call a catalog. Those are the songs that didn't make the album. The songs that didn't, get to be a single. Those songs that weren't good enough to be on the album. Those songs are kept in a catalog. And usually, especially somebody who's been around as long as R. Kelly has been, there are hundreds, possibly thousands of songs that we have not heard. Prince was a musical genius and created thousands of songs that we've never heard. So R. Kelly, being the mega star that he is, doing all of the shit that he did musically, I guarantee you he has hundreds or thousands of songs that we have not heard, but were created. So you think about the time, day in and day out. That's all this dude doing. He ain't getting up, going to work, and then coming to the studio. He in that studio, day in and day out. Days at a time, weeks at a time. That's why he had a bed there. That's why a lot of big studios will have the comforts of home, because you can literally live in that motherfucker. You live in the studio. I remember Common Sense said when he was broke, he used to go to the studio every day because his contract gave him a per diem every day in his contract. And Common Sense was a broke motherfucker. We talking about back when he was first struggling, his first guy as an artist. He would just go to the studio just so he could eat every day. So imagine somebody like R. Kelly, who wasn't broke. He was the man. He was Jive Records' prized possession, the star, the prize pony, the flagship of the label. He was Jive. So imagine the amenities he was afforded while he was in the studio. That's why you live in there. You got Ron Isley coming to the studio. You doing songs for Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. You in the studio. That's so much time. Imagine the girls that were coming in and out of there. Because that's all you doing when you're in the studio. You eating, you drinking, you getting high, you making music, and you fucking. That's it. That's it. Say what you want to say. Talk all that bullshit you want to talk. That's what happens in the studio. Especially when you're a star. So at the end of the day, and I can wrap it up with this, say what you want to say about R. Kelly. Condemn R. Kelly and hold him accountable for the shit he did. But you got to hold them people that was around his ass, that benefited from his ass. Don't let them get off and be a victim. Don't let them duck out of this shit and cry victim. Ooh, I was a victim. Let me get all in me. Don't let them get away with that shit. Call her ass out. Call Javante out. Call Sharonda out. Call Michelle out. Call Tanisha out. Call Tasha out. Call Michael out. Call Rodney out. Call all them niggas that was in that camp. Call their ass out. Because they rolled with it. And they just as guilty. No, you didn't do it, but you damn sure didn't say shit about it, nigga. Because you was getting that paper. And if we at the point to where that money is worth our babies, don't say shit about the white man. Don't say shit about racism. Don't say shit about nothing else going on. Because if you can sacrifice and serve up your kids, and you cool with that as a people, and you ain't gonna call out everybody that's involved, you ain't shit neither. I'm Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. Peace. And I'm out. Bye, live.